Okay, week 9. Um, I think as floor nursing, I work nights. So last night we had a patient that has been coming in for the last 3 years. He is a alcoholic and a blues user. Um, and I think last night myself and the med nurse just got really frustrated because we see him every 2 months, the beginning of the month, um, when he ran out of money, and he has nowhere to go. And then he'll come in and he says he wants to kill himself. And then he's admitted for 10, 15 days. And then he goes, does his thing again, comes back. Um, and last night he was starting to and he gets very rude and very um, upset if you don't give him things the moment that he wants them. And it's just really behavioral, and he gets away with it every time. Um, and so I think he pushed our buttons yesterday. The med nurse was like, "You're not scoring. You're asking for meds. We don't see, that you're visibly withdrawing. Why would I give you a medication?" He was seeking Ativan, he was seeking clonidine, and he knows the system. So, I go up to him and I'm like, "Hey, what's going on?" And he's like, you guys know what you're supposed to give me, and I shouldn't have to be asking for it. I've been coming here for 3 years already. He's like, "You guys already know me. You know the routine. You know what I need." And I'm like, "Okay, so let's talk about this. Like, is this your plan? It's been 3 years. Like, what is your plan?" And he was like, "I'm not here for you to judge me." And it started to really like get me hyped up. Like, really, I wanted to say, "You're the one coming here. You're the one who can't get your life together. How else can we help you?" So I took a deep breath and I said, "You know what? I am going to step away." I said, "Because you're right, we do know you. And you being rude and you being demanding is not part of our job. So I'm gonna take a step back and we can continue this conversation when I come back." And he's like, "No, you're here to do what I tell you to do." And I'm like, "Yep, we're done." So I walked away, and he starts yelling, and "You don't know who the da 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 on and on and on." And he's like a bully. Um he gets aggressive, and then he'll start with, "I'm going to report you," and all these things. And it's like, "You know what? Do what you got to do." So I went, took my deep breath, put myself together. I remembered my preceptor saying, "We're here to provide the best customer service we can." And I went in with a better mindset. And I said, "Okay, so what are your symptoms?" And of course, to like book verbatim, right? My bones hurt, my nose is running. Um, I'm shaking, on and on and on. So I said, "Okay, well, according to your symptoms, we're going to give you what you need." And I gave him the meds that he scored for. And I gave report this morning, and that my preceptor knows, his doctor, that he's definitely med seeking. Um, and said, "What is our plan for him? It's 3 years. Like, we can continue it. It's insane, but at some point, this is we're a Psych 1 hospital. He knows to say he's going to kill himself. We keep scoring him high on the Colombian score. We know he has no intent. Like, but then I also understand, if I was the provider, well, how do I know he doesn't have an intent this 50th millionth time of relapse? um I think as a provider, what I would do is call the insurance and say, "Hey, this is a trend. It's utilization abuse. what do you all want to do? Because they're paying at the end of the day, right? We're giving a service, we're getting paid for the service, but are we really doing justice to this patient? Because there is it's just a revolving circle. And I think with substance abuse, I don't think I could work in that full time because it would get to me. It's like, at some point we have a choice to make. And if your choice is to continue to use, that's your choice. You know the consequences, but why do we have to continue to be here to baby you through a detox until you go back and do it all over again, because your intent is never to change. So I think as I'm going, it's probably not something that I would be interested in doing. But I learned to take a deep breath, walk out, put myself back together, and think like the provider, what would I do? Which is a whole different role than nursing. But because I know nursing, I know what they can and can't do. So, yeah.